Hey, here's Kyle. Kyle, tell us what's going on today.
Doing a fitness routine, a resistance training routine, a workout for racing wheelchair. And along with me is the best trainer I know, Troy, who's been doing training for 40 years and has been very instrumental in allowing me to get stronger, get more fit, and to be able to compete in the various sports that I compete in, including racing wheelchair.
So we're doing a racing wheelchair workout. That's what I understand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good, because that's what we wrote up.
Yep. And of course, racing wheelchairs, there's a couple of varieties on the racing wheelchair. One is the more distance wheelchair, where you might be doing 10Ks, marathons, where you're kind of kneeling, leaning forward. And of course, there's also the seated wheelchair that is more on the track. But this workout is going to work for both of those, either chair. And you'll be able to see that in the Paralympics that's coming up, that hopefully you'll be watching.
So Kyle, why do you want to have strong forearms and grip strength?
So much racing wheelchair workout or racing wheelchair training or competition is using your hands, wrists, forearms. So if you're not training them, you're going to have a problem.
You're going to have a problem. You're going to wear out early, right?
Yeah.
So what's the, so this is getting here.
Flexion.
You like that.
Yep. And then
You need a little bit lighter weight for this second one. Much more difficult.
extension. Of course, you can do these on using a rolling type of device. You can do it on a cable cross machine, just targeting the forearms, wrists, even the grip, because you're pushing on that wheel pretty good.
Now, of course, Kyle's doing a perfect technique on that, but most people will start to raise the arm up almost like a reverse bicep curl. And you know, they're working so hard to do it, so avoid that. It's all just at the wrist.
All right. And
Bicep curl.
Bicep.
So now we wore out the forearm, and this is our favorite pre-exhaustion exercise. So you wear out the forearms with those wrist curls, and then you go to a bicep curl, brings in the biceps, much bigger and stronger than the forearms, but it makes the forearms work that much harder. So it's kind of a nice way to challenge yourself more. Allows you to even use a little bit lighter weight in the secondary exercise.
And Troy, in your experience, what would you recommend? Number of repetitions, number of sets, etc.
So I'm a big fan of the high intensity training, not high intensity interval training, but high intensity training where it's one set of 8 to 12 repetitions if you're doing a 4 count up and a 4 count down. Your goal is to reach fatigue, that inability to do the next rep in 30 to 90 seconds. So you're working as hard as you can with good form and the weight won't move.
So quick, efficient, effective.
You're in and out. You're doing one set of say 6 to 12 exercises, and each one should roughly last 30 to 90 seconds. So if you average it out to a minute, you're looking at a 6 to 12 minute workout, and you added a little bit of transition time, so maybe it's 12 and a half minutes.
Especially on something like this, not a lot of transition because we're doing it all right here. Next exercise, sir.
Triceps, lay it down for a little skull crusher. Now, we don't want you to crush your skull, and maybe you ought to adjust. I think they can see that, but let me adjust this just a little bit.
This is like knocking my glasses off. Maybe I should wear a helmet while I'm doing this.
There is that. All right, there we go. Now, the thing on this one, we are absolutely working the back of the arms. But if you watch this, he's not moving his elbows this way. He's keeping them locked right in place, straightening and bending just before it hits him in the forehead.
And how far extension would you recommend?
Yeah, without lock though.
Without lock.
So your goal is to keep those elbows pointed towards the ceiling, straighten the arms as much as you can without rest. So you don't want to do half reps. You do want to go through a full range.
And I've been working out with Troy for quite a few years, even before I lost my leg. And to this day, if I'm working out on my own, I can still hear his voice in my head, keep the elbows in tight, because when you get tired, they'll flail out. And that's why I can still hear him, keep the elbows in tight, elbows in tight.
Now, I always like to say, also, when you bring it down, have it just kind of be at the top of the forehead.
Some of us have more forehead, though.
Well, this is true. But if, I always like to say, if you were to drop it, it would just skim your head. You don't want it at eye level, knock you out, right?
Yeah.
So keep that, challenge the back of the arms. Then we're staying with this pre-exhaustion concept, right to a bench press.
And explain pre-exhaustion to the folks out there watching. How does that, why is it considered pre-exhaustion?
Well, you're taking a single joint exercise, which we just did, only the elbow, right into a multi-joint exercise, which means you have more muscles working. And in this case, you've got the pecs working, the anterior deltoid. Those muscles are fairly fresh at this point. The triceps are not, because we just exhausted them, and you're able to push them to a deeper inroad or damage the muscle more, thus more growth.
Obviously, if you're paying attention, using this light of a weight on triceps, going into a chest press or a bench press, and probably go to a higher weight and make it work harder. Troy, now, I know you've talked to me about this before, but I'm old school, so I'm used to doing this on a bench press. And always used to bringing that barbell down to your chest.
Yes, I like, because of the fact that I train some younger people, but seems that anyone over about 25, in my experience, gets a lot of rotator cuff issues if they go drop it way down.
So we don't want to go full range of motion.
Bring your elbows even with the body.
Right about there.
But you'll also notice, because again, my thing is constant tension. So you go all the way up as high as you can with tension, and then as low as you can with tension. Yeah, if you lock out,
we
no
don't
tension.
want resting until you're done with your entire workout, all right?
But you'll also notice if you get below the elbows get below the body, there's a big rest there.
Yeah.
Everything gets a little break.
Yeah.
So,
and you will feel that stretch in your shoulder, which is what we don't want to do when we're doing resistance training, correct?
Yeah, we're not trying to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Now, since we're here, let's go right to dumbbell pullover.
One of my favorite exercises.
So now we went from, not that the triceps aren't working, but our focus now has gone to the lats, those big muscles of the upper back. But also on this, you get the abdominals to work a lot as well. So that's kind of nice. And again, as much range of motion as you can. And then when you come up,
hurting anything.
Yeah, as much as you can. Yeah. So you stretch as far as you can without rest and without injuring yourself, of course. And then when you come up, you're going to stop at about eye level.
As opposed to resting.
Yeah, because what happens when you get it way up there?
Resting.
There's rest.
And of course,
you don't want to bend the elbows.
Keep those elbows straight because it's a single joint exercise.
Yes.
I've got to love it when you work out with somebody that really knows their stuff. That's Troy, not me. So.
Oh, we love it. We love it. We love it.
And now, don't forget, folks, that we do also have a video of me on the racing wheelchair where you can see what muscle groups are being used and why this training routine is specifically for a racing wheelchair, whatever variety of racing wheelchair you have. And this is where having a trainer or somebody helping you is great because then you don't drop them.
Now, while you're there, we did just work the abdominals a little bit indirectly. Then we go right to a crunch. Look at that.
So no rest in between, real simple. And of course, these can be done on the floor. For me, we're right here, so why waste time? Just go into the crunch. Okay.
Yeah, that reduces your transition time, shortens up the workout, gets you on to actually performing the sport instead of spending hours and hours in the gym.
Now, what is the one thing that you have taught me and all of your clients to be very cautious of not doing on a crunch. A couple things. What's the biggest one?
You don't want to yank on the neck if you're holding the head, and
Because
it's
here.
all about the abdominals, not about how far your head goes up and down. And I don't know what else you're wanting me to tell you. Oh, never rest. That's that's
rest.
all of them. But that's not. I thought it was a secret special one on
Well,
just
that
the
is
crunch.
a secret special
All
thing that
right.
not everybody realizes that they should not be doing. If you're
This is
resting,
true.
the muscle's not working. You want that muscle
Don't
to
rest, and this one is very hard not to because it just gives up on the way down. So you're coming up, you've got tension, but when you go down, it tends to want to just give up on you.
Still got it.
And you've got to remember that your goal is not to do more or a certain number of reps. It's to get to a point where the muscle's fatigued
They're getting there.
and you've got cramping in that abdominal.
They're getting there. And of course, you can do it this way as well. Just don't
Pull on your neck.
But this way you can support that head, but you're not pulling.
So at this point, you've got the upper body and the midsection, in essence, taken care of.
You're not lying. They're taking care.
There we go. So now we want to go to that deadlift.
Good point. Which of course you can't do laying down.
It would be hard to do.
Yeah, with
Hard to do a deadlift laying down. That's
now
true.
deadlift is going to work. What muscle groups?
Well, the thing I love about the deadlift is it works so much. Can you get in position
Yep.
there?
And I'm going to cheat. If you're able-bodied or have two functioning lower extremities, you can do the standing, wearing a prosthesis. For me, I'm going to support myself.
Absolutely.
So,
So
and
you're looking at low back.
low back, and of course you can use dumbbells on this.
Good. You want a dumbbell?
Yep, sure,
Okay.
we
Look
can
at him
try
go.
that. Look at
Give me
this.
some weights.
Give it, some.
So you've got the entire lower body is working on this, but we're on this particular one thinking low back. That's what our focus is. Yes, the rest of the body is working, but the low back is what you're trying to work on. Go ahead, you're going to say something.
Well, especially in a racing wheelchair like the one that I have that you'd see on the video, where you're seated but kind of leaning forward, you're using your back a lot. If you're going any distance, if you're going a 10K or a half marathon, you need your back strong and you need your back stretched.
Now, what's the thing that everyone does wrong on this one, Kyle?
No,
You're
first
not
of all, you're
doing
gonna
it.
cheat.
He's not doing
and
it.
bend the knee,
But the arch in the low back disappears.
Yeah.
So people will start to hunch over and round that lower back, and you don't want that. So keep a nice
And you use your
arch in
glasses.
the low back. That curve in the low back. Beautiful. Enough of those, sir?
and
Another.
you don't want to hyperextend too much, but coming straight up. And of course, again, watch the neck. Keep what we would call in medicine a neutral position. You don't want a lot of necks. But that's the workout we got for racing wheelchair, top to bottom. Don't hesitate to leave some comments, questions, thoughts, how you would train. I'm a hip disarticulation. Other folks will train differently. This just shows one variation of doing it with all dumbbells. Check out our other videos. Subscribe because it's always
Free.
It's
always free. We love free.
And the most important thing, the strength training, it is sport specific, but also it's great for your overall health. It also allows someone like myself to remain independent, still live at home because I'm strong enough to do what I want to do. What's the key, Troy?
Oh, get
What's your
strong,
phrase?
stay fit. Get strong, stay fit. You know, the one thing I do want to add, so we're never going to end talking to you people. Just keep going. It doesn't matter. The one thing, though, people will ask me is this really enough? Because that wasn't very many stations. I didn't count them, but it's not very many. And the answer is it's absolutely enough. The second part of that is, could I add more if I wanted to? And the answer is yes, you could. But you don't need to. That is adequate, not necessary to add any additional. But if you want to add a few things in, or you've got a favorite you can replace, because we talk all the time about changing, modifying, adapting. You know, putting something in different. If you've got dumbbells, use dumbbells. If you don't have them, use tubing, exercise bands. If you've got a cable machine, use the cable machine. Whatever it is, it all works. Just make sure you are doing it.
And the key is to fatigue.
To fatigue.
To fatigue.
Slow, controlled, purposeful movements that take you to a point you can't do another one.
But with this type of workout, got all the major muscle groups involved in racing wheelchair, and it's quick, it's simple, it's effective. The old KISS principle: keep it simple, silly.
I like stupid. That's the original way.
Yeah, you're dealing with me, so.
No. All right, we'll see you
appreciate
guys
you.
next time.
Thank you.